Hi, it's your girl Jean back with another video. How's everybody doing today? I pray that today has been glorious and been fine for you, that today finds you in good health and happiness. And I pray the things that you wish for, the things that you hope for, the things that you pray for happen for you today. Today I am having some fried chicken, some deviled eggs, and some scalloped potatoes. So after I pray, come in and join me. Amen. Amen. Yes. So how have you guys been? Yes, I have been busy lately doing a lot of writing. And so this is my first time making a video. Um, is it this week? Yeah, today Friday. And I hope you all checked out my car video. That was my first time doing one in the car while driving home from the store. So I had a couple of hiccups where the phone falls over when I make turns and stuff, but I'm going to get something that can, set it. I can set it up on the next time I do that. And I hope you've been watching my other videos. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. It's your girl Jean. Like the videos. Go and watch them, the ones that you have not seen. And tell me how you like it. Tell me some things that I could do different that you would like to see. Tell me some topics that you would like for me to talk about, and I would greatly appreciate that. This is my first time eating today, and I'm hungry. Also, excuse my smacking. Somebody that watched my videos was like, I like your video, but that's smacking. I said, well, I'm sorry, because sometimes when I'm just talking, I smack. But just about a lot of people I know when they eat, they smack. And so I hope that is something that you can deal with. This is hot. This just came out of the fire. I contemplated, should I put it in the air fryer or not? I said, well, no, that's a big piece of meat. So I said, I'll go ahead and fry it on the stove. Look at that. You can see the steam still coming from it. Some foods, the best time to eat them is when they hot. That's when they taste best to me. So how have you been? Did y'all city get any damage from Elsa? I was praying because I had to have dialysis today. So I was praying that everything would just, it would come through and go out to sea, so I wouldn't lose electricity because I need my electricity. And so it wasn't bad. We didn't even have hard winds in my area. Like on the news, I saw where some other areas in my city had flooding, and the cities surrounding my city where they had floodings. But other than that, they didn't report any outages. So it was easy on us. But it's just the beginning of the storm season. And you just never know when you least suspect it and you don't take the precautions to do the things you need to do, then it'll come whipping through and tear everything up. I remember years ago we had a storm and they was telling everybody, to prepare, get your gas and do all of this. And I'm just going places and I'm hearing people, ain't nothing gonna happen. They always saying that. But when it hit us, it hit us. And we lost electricity for a couple of days. And I remember when I went to get about 2 days after, I went to get some gas for my vehicle. And I'm in that long line. And folk got to fight. What are you fighting for? All of us in the line. I don't know what started, what sparked it, but I'm sitting in my car like, what are they fighting for? People jumping out, trying to break them up. And it was crazy. It was so crazy. I was like, If I know it was going to be like this, I would have stayed home and waited because I really didn't have anywhere to go. But since it was such a nice day, and they had cleared a lot of the debris off the streets and stuff, that morning when I watched on the news and they were saying how they cleared a lot of that stuff up, I said, well, let me go out today. So I said, I need to go get some gas anyway, and I'll go back and visit my mom. So I stopped at the gas station first, and it was crazy. I said, what are y'all fighting for? I don't know. Because you couldn't say nobody jumped the line because they had, the way they did it, they was prepared for the influx of people. And so they had it that you just came on in and you just, So I don't know what their issue was. And I think, how some people, they come and they want to help, but they kind of make it worse because one of the ladies that worked there, she come running out. Y'all stop, y'all stop. She hollering and screaming and she fussing at the man. And, I'm like, okay, you trying to help, baby, but you ain't calming the situation down. You escalating it. So then another person in the store had to come out and tell her, that's okay, you go back in. Because everybody could see she was like getting agitated and getting excited herself. So they told her, go back in, we got this. It was crazy. I guess it was entertainment while I was sitting there waiting for my gas. Yep, but we fared real good from Elsa. I don't know when the next one will pop up though. I'm gonna pray about that too. Slow that one, Lord. Send that one out to sea. Don't let it tear the land up. I had a taste for me a deviled egg, and I made me some. It's good. Normally I spring paprika on it, but today I didn't want it. I don't know why I do that. Because to me, it really don't do much difference to the taste, but it's more decorative. It adds that color to it. Mm. Okay, is this messy? Mm. Mm. I don't have any big plans for the weekend. So I'll be around the house because guess what? It's gonna be hot. Um, Today they forecasted to be up to 90, and I think it's tomorrow. I think they said 88. I think it's 80 something tomorrow. Then it's gonna shoot back up to 90. So I'm fine being in the house. Very fine being in the house. In the air condition. Just make me read more. I had some magazines, some religious magazine that I get, monthly. And I mean, has some very good articles, very eye opening, make you think. And they were just piling up because I be trying to read so many different things at one time. So I get into a book and I mean, I'm just like reading that. And then I go to read my Bible and doing study time with that. Then I have another book and I'd be like, oh, that's right. I bought this book months and months ago. And let me read it. And I had a book I bought. I know I bought that book about a year ago. And it was on sale. It was on the rack that was on sale. And I bought several books. And I put them on my bookshelf. So I was trying to find a couple of days ago. Had just finished a book, and I said, "Let me find one of my books, new books that I bought." And I thoroughly enjoyed that book. And I'm the kind of reader that if it's good, real good, and interesting, I don't want to put it down till I'm finished. And that's kind of how this book was. I was just reading, reading, and I was so engrossed into that. And my other reading I wasn't doing. And I'm trying to keep up in my journal, trying to keep that up. And so yesterday I said, well, what I'm going to read next? Because I finished the book like about Wednesday. And so I said, what am I going to read next? So I picked up, the magazine. And I started reading, and it was just like, oh my gosh. It was just good words in that in the articles, and some things I already know from my studies, and but it opened my eyes to make me go look back and to things that I may have missed, and had a different understanding of, and it was just so interesting. And so I finished that magazine. Of course, I didn't put it down till I finished. So then I have about four more. And so this weekend, I think I'm just going to spend my time because trying to do everything else. And I'm going to spend my time reading and educating my mind. You got to keep your mind going. I love crossword puzzles. I love Sudoku. I love word puzzles, and I do them. I do them on my laptop, on the iPad, and because you have to keep you, especially as you get older. and you have to keep your brain moving and keep your brain thinking. And so you have to do things that challenge you, and you'll find if even people who love to do the Scrabble word, that's something that you need to do and do it more often so that you can keep your mind working, keep your brain saying, okay, what's happening, to the left, to the right, what's going on? And you keep doing it up. So that's what I try to do every day, because I have to stop and think now. And I'd be like, okay, what is that person name? I see their face in my head, and I'm telling y'all, I could just have talked to the person yesterday, and I'm telling somebody I ran into so and so, and then I was like, and I'm trying to figure out, and I'm like, so I was, I was telling one of the medical advisors from my insurance company. They call, because of my, medical conditions and stuff, and they keep up with me. And I was telling her, and she was like, well, maybe you need to get tested. I'm like, lady, I ain't trying to claim nothing. I ain't claiming nothing. Because what happened years ago, I took some medication, and I know for a fact, because of that medication, I was losing my memory. And when I realized what's happening, what's going on, the thing that scared me the most, because it was some things that I was forgetting before this. But one day I set out to go somewhere. I don't know where I was going. I can't remember, but I knew where I was going then, but I can't remember where I was supposed to be going. And I got dressed and everything, and I set out. And thank goodness I was by myself. I ain't have none of the babies or nothing in the car with me. And I hopped in, and I just started driving to the destination where I was going. But then the next thing I know, I'm on the interstate. Where I was going, I didn't need to go on the interstate to get to it. And I said, where am I going? Where am I at? I didn't even know where I was at. And so I'm looking at the signs, and I was just not familiar with where I was going. And at that time, I had been on this medication, almost say about 2 weeks, going into the third week. And it was medication for my blood pressure. So you got to be careful with the medications that you take. Know what they are, know the side effects, and you have to be aware of what's happening to you. And so I'm just driving, and then I'm like, I don't know where I'm at, why I'm going this way. How did I get up here? And I pulled over. And when I pulled over, and I was just sitting there, and I was just crying, because I was like, God, help me. I don't know where I'm at. Why am I up here? And a nice lady, she saw me, and she pulled off the road where I was at, and she came to my vehicle. She said, ma'am, you all right? And I said, no, I'm not all right. And she was like, you need me to call the police, ambulance? I said, no, I just need to go home. I said, I don't know why I'm on the highway. And she said, well, where do you stay? I told her where I stayed. So I said, I said, I just want to go home. And so she was like, she was leery, like, should I go ahead and just call the police anyway, But I was talking to her, I was cognitive of what I was saying to her, and I was answering her. So she said, well, I tell you what, she said, I'm going to take you back out until you get on 64, because that's how I go home from where I was going. And coming back, I come back on 64. And she says, I'm going to, she said, I'm going to drive you. I'm going to ride in front of you. And then she said, but when I get to my cutoff, she said, I'm going to turn right. And she said, I'll blow my horn, letting you know that that's my cutoff. She said, but where I take you, she said, you're going to have all the 64 signs. Just follow the signs. And so as she was taking me, I was like, y'all, I was out there because it took us a while to come around and come back before I saw the signs to where I live. And so just as I was like, please don't let this lady get home before I know exactly. But just like she said, once where she turned off at, I'm gonna see where my city and I'm gonna see the sign with my city and all this stuff on it. And I did, and so I followed the signs. Then when I got about a couple of miles from where she turned off, then I realized exactly where I was. And you talking about somebody was so happy. I said, let me get my butt home because I don't know what's going on. So when I got home and I was just praying and I was like, what happened? What happened? And I said, I didn't eat anything strange. And I'm thinking, and I'm thinking back to how the first time I really noticed it was I am a honor roll student. I was in college to get my bachelor's at this time. I went back to college when I was 40 something, y'all. I was 40 something. And so I remember that I studied very easy for me to study and to remember. And I knew everything because I made a lot of A's, every now and then a B. And I knew everything that was on this test. It was a government. It was government. And when I got in the classroom and she passed out the paper, she said, don't turn them over until everybody get that paper. And I tell you to. And make sure you put your name and stuff up there. And so she was standing at her desk. She said, okay, you can turn it over and begin. I turned my paper over. The first thing you see is name. And I'm telling y'all, I was like, what's my name? I'm saying to myself, this is so crazy. I'm like, what's my name? I did not know my name, so I skipped that and I started going to the questions. And I didn't remember nothing. When I tell you I didn't remember nothing, and I knew something was wrong then. But what happened when I got home, I kept trying to figure out what in the world happened, why I didn't remember anything. And I said, something going on. I'm going to have to go to the doctor. So the good thing about it, my professor, she was kind. And she allowed me, I told her after class, what happened. I said, I just don't even remember. And she, I'm an A student in her class. So she told me I could come back the next day to one of her other classes because they were going to take the same test. And she said I could take it then. So I went back and I was praying, God, let me retain everything. Because when I got home and I started reading, I knew everything just like that. It was just coming to me. And so the next day I went back and I still didn't get my A. I got a B, but I was happy to have that B, y'all, because if I didn't remember anything that day, I would have got an F. Never had an F before. Don't ever want to see an F. Don't ever want to see a D. I think my whole time in college, to get my bachelor's, I got a C, and that was in math, and I was so upset because I'm not a good math person. Oh, I can't stand math. And so she told me she would work with me, tutor with me after school, and so she did. She worked a little bit more with me, and the next semester I got a B. But that was the only math class I had to take. I was so glad. I was so glad. But that was still, let me see. Was that trigonometry? It was one of them hard math things, and that just swirl around, and you be like, what, what? But yeah. So, but that was scary. And so after what happened on the highway, because this was like this was like the next week, what happened on the highway. And the first thing popped in my head, God allowed me to know, was that new medication. That new medication. I said, that's what's different. And I knew it. So I stopped taking it. I just stopped right there. So when I went to the doctor, and you know how they ask you, you still taking this, you still taking that. So the nurse was like, what's on your medicine list? So when the doctor came back, he was like, well, you don't have this on your list. And I told him, I said, well, I stopped taking it because blah, 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 blah. Do you not know this man gets mad with me? And you said I did that. You don't just stop taking. Whatever you say. Because, they said sometimes when you just abruptly stop taking your medication, it could be harmful. But I'm losing my memory. I'm here on a highway going, not knowing where I'm going. And I figure out that it's that medication. God let me know it's that medication. And you think I'm still going to take it until because I think my appointment was like about 2 weeks from when all of this happened. And you think I'm going to take this two more weeks before I see you? Absolutely not. I just stop taking it. And I do that with any medication that I have. If it make my heart race, if it give me severe headaches, if it do anything, I don't take no more of it. No, I don't. I have enough medical issues than to have more from the medication. Because that's one thing about medication. What is supposed to help you in one way, medication can also harm you. And so you just have to be careful with what you taking and watch what you. I had a person that I knew was taking this particular type of medicine, and this person got depressed and contemplated suicide and attempted suicide. And I told this person, because this was a strong person, I said, you know that medication that you take? And I told the person the name that I saw on their dresser. And I said, you know that even the commercial on TV said that you could have thoughts of suicide. And this person did not know. And when they went back to the doctor, they told the doctor. And actually, this person stopped taking. When I told this person that, they stopped taking the medication. And so they told the doctor that they didn't want to take the medication. And that's probably the reason why they attempted suicide. So you just have to be careful. You have to read your pamphlets, know what you're taking, and know how it affects you. Okay? So be careful out there. Be blessed. Thank you for watching this video. I pray that you, if you have not subscribed, that you will subscribe and like this video and tell others about it and help me get some subscribers. All right? Be blessed.